Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I decided to come on YouTube live again. I'm trying to do more lives for you guys. Because I've seen a lot of comments of people who are really struggling right now, who just don't seem to be like in a good place, and kind of just wanted to hop on, give people the opportunity to chit chat, talk about whatever they want to talk about, ask questions if they want to ask questions, like not tarot questions, but like, hello, Jen. What's up, Buttercup? I might do tarot questions in a little bit. I'm gonna need just give me a little bit. I just got done with like 4 readings back to back, so I'm just giving myself a little downtime right now. I might pull cards. Hello, my dear. How are you? But yeah, I feel like there's been a lot of comments. Sorry. About people just really struggling right now in the last few months. And hello, Sarah. And I'm right there with you. It's definitely a collective energy because we're now in Aries season, right? And so now that we're in Aries season, it's like the start of the zodiac. So it's like the zodiac's way of saying, hey, it's the new year, right? Yeah, that whole manic feeling, that was me. I had like that kind of, I don't know. I literally was like, am I losing my effing mind? Like I had a feeling like that probably like 5 days ago. That's going to be passing here in a little bit, especially when we have Mars going into Aries on the 7th. And that's not going to be a really good time for us to talk about important things or things that might cause arguments, because Mars is communication and intellect and people are going to want to fight. So that new moon in Aries is going to be happening on, I was looking for my phone, it's plugged into my iPhone. It's going to be happening on oh, that was weird. Sorry, something popped up on my phone now. I wasn't expecting it. The new moon, I think it's on the 1st. I do think it's on the 1st. It's on the 2nd. New moon in Pisces. I kept saying new moon in Aries for some reason. We have the new moon in Pisces. It brings positive kindness, allowing us to be more generous with our time and affections. So yeah, I thought it was the 1st too. And this is saying it's on the 2nd. I thought it was the 1st. Yeah, and this said the 2nd. Okay, so I'm not crazy for losing my mind. Yeah, it was on the 1st. That app sometimes is not as accurate as my moon app, but that's the astrology app. So anyway, but when we have that new moon on the 1st, it's going to allow these energies to kind of chill out a little bit, which is nice. But I had a thought, and it's kind of a touchy thought, but it's a thought that I feel they need to share with the collective. So I was in therapy for like, I think I started therapy when I was like 13 years old. And I think I stopped therapy when I was probably 22. I was in therapy for a long time, and because my family dynamic growing up was a little kooky, it's a little kooky. And I enjoyed therapy when I got to go alone, like going with your parents it's not a cool thing. Because you're like looking at your trauma. But when I went alone, I learned a lot in regards to what therapy is. And it was nice to talk to somebody who was unbiased. It was nice to feel heard, right? And I think that's why I've seen a lot of comments about people saying, like, I'm in therapy and I feel like I'm just talking to myself, right? And I felt that way. I felt that way for a really long time when I was in therapy too. And I loved my therapist. When I moved to North Carolina, I had a therapist, and I'll never forget the day that we stopped seeing each other. And she told me, she goes, I was scared of you when I first met you. I was really scared of you. She goes, and now I can hug you and I'm not scared of you. Because even my family would tell me, like, you're not approachable. Because I'm not tiny, guys. Like, I've had people ask me, like, how tall I am and stuff. I'm 5'9", 5'10". I'm not tiny. I'm not petite. I'm an athlete. Okay. Like, I could stomp you if I really wanted to. No, I'm just kidding. Not really. But that was the first therapist that I think that I started to get somewhere. And it wasn't because of the therapy. It was because of the connection I had with that person. And that person to me felt very motherly. And I had, and even in like my astrology chart, it talks about like mother wounds and things like that. And I had a lot of trauma, like with my dad too. But when we go into therapy, I think there's this belief that we're going to go there and these people are they're going to fix us, right? They're going to fix us, or we're going to be healed and all these things. And what I learned from being in therapy is that it's really kind of someone who's guiding you on that path of self-discovery, very similar to spirituality, which is kind of why the two are starting to bridge together. Like, they're using a lot of meditation and therapy now, and hypnosis is coming back. And hypnosis is really just something you can do to yourself. Like, my patrons know this. Like, I tell them all the time, if you speak a meditation out loud to yourself, you're basically practicing self-hypnosis. And you're going to walk yourself down into a very effective meditation, because you're present by speaking out loud and hearing yourself. You're focused on what you're saying. It's going to help you go into a meditative state much more easily. But personally, I find therapy to be very, like, with a therapist, someone who has a PhD in psychology, right? To be very beneficial, for the sense that it gives you an unbiased outlet. It will give you a space where you do feel heard. It will give you a space. It will give you a space to explore things that you might be struggling to decipher on your own, and you can have an outsider's perspective on that, right? And that's a really good thing. On the flip side of it, and here's the other, here's kind of like, this is my personal experience. This is not true for every person on the planet. This is just my experience. For the 14 to 22, the 10 plus years I was in therapy, no one scratched the surface of my trauma the way this past relationship has in the last year. You know, I think that when you meet somebody, and this is another thing, a lot of times we manifest things, and this is all going to make sense in a second, because I know I just kind of like said something, you're like waiting on edge, and now I just kind of like put my foot off the gas a little. You're like, what the fuck? There's a purpose, I promise. When I manifested my now partner, in my mind, I was manifesting the love of my life, someone I'm going to have an awesome connection with, and someone who's really going to get me, and like, hello, my dear. Lex is here. Yoo-hoo, party started. Just kidding. Not really. That's my girl. That's my homie. Everybody say, hey, Lex. But when I manifested my now person, I was manifesting someone I could really just give all of myself to, right? And this was like 2 years ago now. And I got that. But I also got all the lessons I needed to learn in order to accept the kind of love I was manifesting. And in order to accept that kind of love I was manifesting, it meant that I had to accept, big old bomb there, right? And so a lot of times when we manifest these connections and we're saying, well, I get all these people who hurt me and betray me and this and that. Is it really that they're hurting and betraying you? Or is it that your ego's telling you the story of a victim mentality because it doesn't want to look at self? Are you repeating the same cycles with multiple people of different kinds of relationships, work relationships, friendships, family dynamics, over and over, right? Because at some point, you're going to have to step back and look at you. because you're the common denominator. And that's what my relationship now has taught me, right? And in all the years of therapy, then I sat in therapy. Yeah, it was great to talk to somebody. It was great to learn a lot of things and to like see my family dynamic. But I didn't need help with my family dynamic. I needed help with what the dynamic had taught my ego, right? Had taught a part of me what it thought was real about people, right? And so I had these limiting beliefs that people are always going to hurt me, or I can only trust people up to a certain point, or there's always going to be a betrayal, or I can't rely on anybody but myself, that excessive independence, right? Or love is conditional. And so a lot of relationships in my life were loves are conditional, right? Love was conditional. And so I had manifested a relationship that was an unconditional love. And what did it trigger? Distorted masculine energy, me feeling unsafe because it was uncomfortable and wanting to control everything, right? Distorted feminine energy, then the codependency, wanting to cling to it because are you going to abandon me because I'm trying to control it and push you away, but at the same time I want to be free, and the push-pull dynamic, right? My opinion on therapy is that they should just teach this shit in school, like just educate everybody on how the brain works, like how this works is something that everybody should know. Like everybody should be knowledgeable on that. It honestly should kind of be like common sense, because if you know how your emotion and mental state works, you're going to learn how to not only communicate with people better, but also learn how to build that relationship with yourself better, right? So like when shit hits the fan, because trust me, shit's been hitting the fan over here. I'm kind of trying to keep my head on straight and take it like a day at a time. But it is what it is. You're going to get to that place of like, you know what? I can't control X, Y, Z. I can only control me. And each day you just take those steps to work on self, right? So I know a lot of people in the collective are going through like losing their jobs or losing a partner or losing a pet or losing their home or struggling financially right now. And we're in Aries season. And so because we're at the first sign of the zodiac, that means that in order to have this start, things need to end. And so things are going to be ending right now. And so when we just had the full moon in Virgo, Virgo's earth energy, it's practicality, it's idealism, it's things that, so if you manifested all these things and you thought they were going to be like the perfect thing for you, and then all of a sudden they're falling away, it's because they were built on something that was for the false face. They were built for something that was for the false version of you. And you're going to be mirroring this in your dynamics. So if you can step back and see that within yourself and you can see it with other people, it's, yeah, exactly. Shadow work 101. And it's even healing 101 though, like awareness. The first step to healing is being aware. But here's the other kicker. As aware as you are, you can't make somebody else aware. So if you're sitting there and just like begging and wanting them, like, if I can see, why can't you see this? It's like you can lead the horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. Okay. You just can't do it. If you're willing to see it right now, that's amazing. If they cannot see themselves right now or their situation, they're not going to be able to. And that's something that we as a collective need to, instead of being like, I'm so angry about it. And trust me, like, I get it. It's hard because been there so many times. It's getting to that place of like, you know what? This happened. I know my role in it. I accept the consequences of my role in it. I did everything I could do from my position in it, right? And now I take the steps to move where I'm being called to, right? Into intuition. Because when we try to tackle things from so much logic, you're going to get stuck in that logic vortex and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking to the point that it doesn't make sense anymore because you forgot what your initial thought was. And you're going to get a little lost. But when you practice, I actually had this conversation with a client today after our Reiki session. If you have a habit of thinking that productivity makes you feel successful or makes your day feel great, don't forget that working on your mental and emotional health is being productive. Taking care of yourself is a form of being productive, because you're producing a form of yourself that is healthier than the form you were yesterday. it's making the choice to see it differently, right? Being somebody who's like overachiever, wanting to do things all the time, all the time, all the time, go, 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 go. I've seen so many things that I find are like triggering me lately. And I catch myself and I ask myself, why is that triggering me? Like I saw an online coach who said this thing about, well, someone can only be a coach or a mentor if they have a certification. And in my opinion, a certification is just to help the people who believe that certifications are needed to feel more comfortable in order to work with you. Do I personally think they're required? No, because I can go to a shaman in the woods who doesn't have a damn certification and wipes his ass with a leaf, and he's just as qualified to do Reiki on me as someone who's been in school for 9 years. You know what I'm saying? It's all about perspective. So there's just things that we're programmed to believe and think because of comfort zones. So that's kind of my tangent. That was my tangent for today, because I think that the collective is going through a lot of stress, a lot of overwhelm, and there's a need. Oh, wait, let me backtrack. There's a need, what I was talking about with that Reiki client, to focus on the fact that you are a priority. So if you're struggling to get out of the overactive mind, there's a need to remember that breathing, the breath, is the best way to calm the nervous system. I literally walked outside today, didn't even care who was watching me, went out, opened my arms at a random street that was just a long walkway, and I just walked and raised my arms up, inhaled, and I brought them down, exhaled. And doing that movement over the head, down through the center, that's a crown chakra, okay? So it's going to open you up. It's going to allow you to have a white light, visualize it flushing down through you. But if you do things like that, bring yourself back to your body. Like literally visualize your higher self, whether you picture it like a freaking Disney cartoon, like a little ghost figure of yourself, and pull it back into your physical body. Okay? Pull it back down. Because if you're right now, especially because we have, what was it? I just sent it to you, Lex, the other night. That picture about the mystics and stuff, that aspect in astrology right now. What is it? Mercury joins Neptune in Pisces, right? So this is going to evoke the seers and mystics to peer beyond the veil. So the veil is like really thin right now, especially if you've already been working with spirituality for a few years or for a really long time. If you're very intuitive, this is the prime time to connect with your higher self, to do that kind of work. But if you do that kind of work, you need to come back to your body or you're going to get sick, because you're leaving yourself open energetically. You're just leaving yourself open. Okay. So I'm not going to get into all that, because that's the kind of stuff we talk about on Patreon. So if you want some more goodies, you can join us over there. But yeah, so I hope everybody's just moving through this and remembering that they're a priority, and it's a domino effect. You can only control your small little world. And in all reality, you can't even control that world. You can only control the role you play in it. So focus on that. Focus on that. And the rest will follow. Okay. I know easier said than done, but it's the practice of it. And the only person who has the limiting belief of easier said than done is the people thinking that right now. It can be really easy. You just got to get it done. You just got to walk the talk, right? You just got to start doing it. So now the chat's open. You guys have the floor. Say whatever you want to say. Ask any questions. That's where we miss a lot, separating logic from intuition. They were never meant to be divided, and productivity can only commence once we've let ourselves be receptive. Exactly. And that was another thing. I think that there's been so much focus on Neptune and Pisces that we've forgotten that Venus and Mars are together in Aquarius. Like the masculine and feminine energies have been doing a dance. They were together in Capricorn and now they're together in Aquarius. Like we are still balancing how to push and how to pull, how to give and how to receive in a way that's a very fluid dance, right? We're learning how to balance our dualities. And so if I'm learning how to do that in myself and my partner's learning how to do that within themselves, it's going to be displayed in our dynamic. So if we're both dancing in masculine, we're both dancing in feminine, love me, love me, love me. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to see it play out with the people in your life right now. And you just need to be aware of it, because astrology is not the end all be all. Just because, oh my gosh, Mars is in Aries and it's home in Aries, the god of war, there's going to be conflict. No. Mars is passion, it's enthusiasm, it's creativity, it's ambition, it's manifestation, it's all of these other energies. Everything has a duality, right? Even everything swings both ways. I always say to all my friends and my partner and like family, a pendulum swings both ways. As nice as a person can be, as just as nasty as they can be, right? It swings both ways. As beautiful as a planet's aspect can be, it's just as dark as it can be. The sun can be bright, the moon can be pitch black. Masculine, feminine, yin and yang. Yes and no. I could keep going. Tits and ass. Okay? Okay. Glad we covered that. Next one. You want to know what's weird when you record these videos? Like, you make a joke and you laugh at yourself and you wonder, like, are people on the other end laughing with me? I hope so, because if not, I don't care. But I know I have some weird humor. Don't worry, guys. I always have a backup bottle of something. It's always water or orange juice. I don't drink. Fun fact, if you didn't know that. I don't drink or smoke or anything. Because here's the thing. That's another fun topic. For those of you who are new, I hope you're laughing. For those of you who are new, I used to be like a massive pothead. Like, before I got into spirituality, then I cracked my brain open and the universe was like, we've raised your consciousness. You don't need that stuff anymore to feel close to us. And I just like wasn't catching that hint. I was not getting it. And because everything has a frequency, right? And so I'd start smoking and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting such bad anxiety. And you have no idea how many clients I've had come to me. They're like, why can I not smoke anymore? And I'm like, because you've raised your frequency above that point. Because at a certain point, like, it was cool. Like, I would meditate and I feel great meditating. And nope, I got to a point where I could not touch it anymore. And I just haven't touched it since, because it would give me such anxiety. It would make me sick and it would just really distort everything. Right. So for those of you who can still dabble with that beautiful greenery, that must be nice. For those of you who can't. And like, there's part of me that questions that sometimes, because then I watch people like Sadhguru who are always stoned. Like, they're always stoned. And I'm like, this guy's high all the time. All the time. And I'm like, so is he just like at peace all the time? Or is he so grounded in his body when he smokes that he doesn't get to that state of like feeling stress or anxiety? He just must be like so grounded and so just like all the time that he can chill like that. He can chill like that. That's my goal. That's a nice goal. That's a nice goal. I don't know, guys, because I be playing with some things up there, as my patrons know. Because we talk about stuff like Atlantis. We talk about things like shifting and consciousness and going to different dimensions and stuff. Sacred geometry. That's been a new one for me. Seeing sacred geometry in my meditations. That's been really cool. But yeah. Yeah, I can't drink either. Drinking doesn't sit well with me. No. I think marijuana activates the Mars and Venus energies more. I don't know about that. I've never really thought about marijuana and planets. Thanks, Lex. I haven't really thought about it. I think it enhances someone's sensitivity overall. Yes, ma'am. T. I missed it. Oh, TNA. Tits and ass. Oh, wow. That was delayed. That was delayed on my end. My chat must be delayed. For some people, it must be. We totally are. Yeah, it has to be delayed because that was so long ago. Oh, that's poopy. That's real poopy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Because when I think about smoking, it's like, I just think everything has a frequency, like smoking and drinking and anything else that someone wants to dabble in. We've talked about this a few times. I rather leave my body clean, pure, go through a massive pure purge like for a few years. And when I reach the state of consciousness I really want to achieve, and when my intuition guides me to feel like it wants to do that, if it ever gets to a place of wanting to do that, because I really don't have an urge to smoke anymore. Like, I don't. Like, for me, it was like a habitual thing. It was very habitual. And yeah, I used to like, I was like a functioning smoker, and nope, nope, can't since like 20. I've smoked it like a few days here and there since 2018, but I haven't like been smoking. And those days were me trying to see if like, can I smoke again? Can I not? And then I just finally accepted it just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me anymore, because even when I meditated on it, it's like it was like lowering my frequency. I could not meditate. Yeah. You'll get there. You'll get there when you're meant to. Because I was even saying to Lex the other night, and patrons, you wait, wasn't did I tell patrons, did I tell you guys how sick I got? I know I was really, so the day that I thought I was like losing my mind, I actually ended up getting like really sick for 2.5 days. And the first day I was like, what is real? What is not real? Like, I thought I was losing my mind, and I had like all these weird spiritual things happening. And like, I couldn't meditate because when I meditated, I was like, I literally felt like I was dying. I was kind of freaking out. And it had me questioning, like, should I be meditating right now? Does my mind, does my brain, like my physical brain, need rest? And I was having horrible anxiety. I had a horrible migraine. And for those of you who don't know, like, I was diagnosed as epileptic, and I was diagnosed with MS back in 2018 after my accident. And like, it had me just freaking out so much I was going to have a seizure or something. Cause like, that's how like out of whack, randomly, just randomly, my body felt. And I thought it was from the pre-workout I took that morning, but it lasted all the way into that night and all the way into the next day. And that's when the next day my entire spine was just like on fire. And I was like, oh my gosh. Cause I hear I'm a fan of the Green Queen. I've been through different phases with it, and I've come to a place of moderation and been in states where it's had me back, and others where I feel it helps with so much. Seriously, you will get the I've been on the stream for 2 years now, only in the last smoke I think on it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, autumn. I'm kind of jealous. I just remember how much fun I had smoking. It was a lot of fun, but I'm just like kind of past that though. Cause like, it was fun, but that stuff would make me eat so much food. I'd eat so much food. And that's why I was in the gym like all the time. All the time. I was in the gym for like 2 hours a day. It's crazy. Cause I got the munchies, man. I'm just like an eater when I smoke. I'm an eater, and just like I veg out, and I just want to like hang out up in the ethers and just, oh, what's going on up there? It was great. Oh, good old days. And now I don't even need to do anything to do that. I just fricking sit around and eat and hang out in the ethers all day. I don't even need to get high. It's crazy. What's wrong with me? Um, but yeah, so my back got really, really hot. And like, I've always heard about people talk about like their Kundalini awakening. And I've always been like, I haven't really experienced that yet. And I swear, like this night, like I was having the weirdest dreams, and I've had the weirdest dreams since. I've had the weirdest meditation since, and my readings have definitely felt different and been different. And like, physically I'm like sensitive, and I was like, that's what was going on. And it made so much sense because it happened like during the spring equinox too, right around the full moon in Virgo, and like Pluto was hanging out in my 12th house. Oh, it was crazy. It can be super fun. Oh, that's how me and my dad were, my stepdad, and we sit and talk about spirituality and aliens. Oh, that's exactly how me and my stepdad were. Oh, I miss those days. Those were great days. Smoking on a boat. That was fun. Good old days. Oh, the good old days. And that's a thing though, like that's a sad thing. Like I sit here on YouTube and like honestly in the back of my mind goes like, oh, we all know there's gonna be that person that's because I've had this happen before. You're talking about weed, Jordyn, and I can't believe you're promoting that. And I'm not promoting anything. You have your own free will. I'm just talking about my life experience. I'm not promoting it. Have you heard me say go smoke weed once? No, you have not. I've just said in my opinion very clearly multiple times. And that's the thing. That's the thing. People's egos and their filter gets in the way. And it's like social platforms and speaking, like being your authentic self is so hard in the world now because everybody just wants to dick contest all the time. It's absolutely obnoxious. And you just got, sorry, Shannon just wants to like all those people. There's definitely a little habitual ritual to it that's hard to break, but when you've outgrown it, and I ain't no thing to walk away from it. Stay in your own lane. Yeah. Honestly, it took me it took me 6 times to finally like walk away from it, to be honest. Because I was that kind of person that I had to wake up, smoke before work, I'd smoke before the gym, I'd smoke at work, I'd smoke in the car ride home. I'd smoke when I got home. I'd smoke before bed. It was excessive. It was excessive. It was a constant state. Oh God, college. What did you do to me? Oh, it was so funny. Those good old days are done. It was only a few years of my life, though. It was only just a few years. It was probably only like that for like 3 years of my life. That was it. Maybe 5. Maybe 5. Now I think about it. Yeah, I used it as a tool at one point. When I started getting into spirituality, when I started doing like readings for my friends and stuff before I ever even got on YouTube, and I was like, ooh, tarot cards. I was like, maybe if I smoke, this will help me, And I started using it then, and I was like, oh, this is great. And it did help me, but then I would get tired like halfway through the reading, and I was like, I can't do this. And I realized that I was getting tired, not because I was smoking, but because it's like my consciousness was fighting 2 completely different states. It's like it was trying to raise into the state to do the reading, but I was smoking and it was like trying to keep me at this frequency. And it was like the battle of the brain. And it wasn't working for me. And then I stopped, and that's when I was like blasting open. What really blasted me open was when I cracked my brain open, though. That was definitely it. And ever since that day, I was like, me and green, no. It was absolutely petrifying experience because I started seeing things after I damaged my brain, even when I was not smoking. And that's when I started going to that Reiki practitioner, and I was like, why am I seeing things in my room? She's like, are you not spiritual? I was like, no, I'm not. She's like, well, you are now. I was like, what do you mean? The universe was like, you didn't hear us the first 8 times we tried to get you to do this? I was like, nope, I was oblivious. They're like, okay, well, we just had to, kill you, bring you back to life, and get you to realize that you were not doing what you were supposed to be doing. I was like, oh, okay. Yep. That's not cool. It was not cool. I was seeing it's like Slender Man standing in every doorway. It was freaky. It was really freaky. And I also damaged like 3/4 of my brain though. So, but that was a few years ago. We're good now, I think. She seems to be okay. She seems to be functioning. Everything's fine. That's another thing. And I even need to practice that. Like I'll go to the gym and I'll get in my head sometimes because you know how after like traumatic events or accidents, like we as humans always want to like label something, right? So I went to this doctor, and this doctor was all like, hey, you have MS and you have epilepsy. Because I was having a lot of seizures. I was having grand mal seizures. And then there was one time I had like 25 seizures in a day, and that wasn't cool. But ever since, I haven't had a seizure. Granted, I'm on medicine and I take it every day. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, then I think about like these feelings I have in my body when I'm stressed. I'm like, do we really need to label them as like MS or epilepsy? Like, if I really aligned myself completely and like purged my body of all toxins and really ate all food that was really clean and just like did what my body needed and learned to regulate my own nervous system and like grounded myself and just did what was right for my brain and my health overall, don't you think none of that shit would happen? Probably not. I think about that all the time. All the time. Like if I could just live in a cabin in the woods, in the mountains, and have peace, and just be by myself and meditate and record videos and just help people on their path all the time. Autumn, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's amazing. Because they're scary, man. Like even when I have auras or bad migraines, like that migraine the other day, like it's hard to decipher like what's a migraine and what's a seizure about to happen. Like it scares the living hell out of me. That's amazing. Yeah, it's been about a little over a year for me, which is great. Because I don't know about you, but if I have one, I'm not allowed to drive for 6 months. So I like to continue this streak because I like my car. But yeah, I would love to live away from, yeah. Because me and my honey, we're about to be moving. So if you guys don't see much of me come like mid-April or the next few weeks, it's because we got to move. And we're contemplating like, do we want to do a container home? Do we want to do a traveling bus? Or do we just want to rent the house that we're looking at? I would love to just sell all my stuff and live in a bus and travel the world and do my videos like in a little travel van. I think that'd be really cool. Huh. Yeah, being away from a lot of people would be really nice. And that's kind of like one of my I only get my license last year. Oh my gosh. Earth ships. Oh, I know about those. That would be so dope. That'd be so dope. I heard you speak on contortions, and mine are starting to happen again. How can I protect myself? Thank you. Okay, so when it comes to protecting your energy, one, you need to ground yourself first. Okay, this is like the steps to protecting your energy. I call it shielding. So whatever label you want to slap on it, One, you got to ground yourself, right? So walk yourself down through a meditation, visualize yourself as a tree or visualize yourself like with white light flushing you down into your physical body. And as you do that, you want to picture each chakra slowly opening, right? So for me, like with my Reiki clients or any guided meditation, I always start them off and I have them visualize the center of their being as a seed. Then we open up the solar plexus right by that seed. Then the sacral chakra is orange, the root chakra is red. Then the roots will go down their legs, the feet, through the soles of the feet, through the floor, right? Through the bedrock, down and down into the earth, okay? And from there, you're going to pull the earth energy up your legs, up through the root chakra, allow it to spin open red, up through the sacral, spins open orange, up through the solar, spins open yellow. And then you see the trunk of the tree through the heart, green, throat, blue, third eye, indigo, and the crown, white or purple, whatever floats your boat. And then white light through the crown all the way up through the ceiling, the clouds, the cosmos, all of that, right? And then you pull that white light down through you and you allow it to flush, okay? So now you have grounded yourself and now you have centered and now you're aligning yourself, right? Because now you're bringing sky to earth and earth to sky. So that's the alignment and you're cleaning out your chakras with that white light, okay? So that's the first thing. After that, you want to visualize a ball of white light. You bring that ball of white light in your mind's eye, right? You visualize it. And you want to visualize the energy field around you. So your aura or your auric body, right? Whatever you'd like to call it. And you try to visualize behind your head, around your head, your neck, your shoulders, over your arms, everything. And you want to visualize if you see anything sticking to you, you rip it off and you throw it in the earth. okay? And you throw it there and shake your hands. If you feel like it's sticking to you, you shake your hands, you pull it off your hands, and you set the intention that it's being grounded. I disrupt, release, and I ground it, right? Any holes or rips or tears you see in your energetic body, you use this ball of white light to disrupt, release, and ground anything stuck to you into the earth, and to also heal and seal any of those holes, okay? And you do that all around you, your legs, your hips, your back, your lumbar, especially down the middle of your spine, the back of the neck, because this is the spiritual gateway. So a lot of things like to be right back there. And that's when you can shield yourself. So when you shield yourself, you don't want to picture yourself in something that is a solid color, like solid white. You want it to be translucent, so the energy that's of your highest good can get in. The energy that is harmful or unwanted or unneeded can escape and get out, and you can rid yourself of it, right? So you put yourself in, it could be an egg, it could be a crystal, it could be a crystal-like house, it could be a little tower, right? I usually visualize myself in smoky quartz or clear quartz. I was just showing you the tower. I would not visualize yourself in this, but this is translucent, like you can see through it, okay? And then you set the intention to protect yourself however you want. So I say, I charge the shield to protect me. No harmful energy may enter. Only energy of my highest good may reach me. I charge the shield to protect me from physical, energetic, and psychic attack, harm, pollution, bad intention, and attachment, whether it be of my own making or of others. As I will, so mote it be. Right? So whatever intention you have, you set that intention on the shield. But that shield is just for you. It's just for your body. From there, then you can call in your animal spirit or your guide or whatever higher order being you work with to protect you as well, right? Archangel Michael, Uriel, Raphael, Metatron, Gabriel, right? Whatever floats your boat. If you work with archangels, or if you're more into shamanism and paganism, you can work with the earth elements like Gaia or Pachamama and the four directions. It's whatever you feel you need to call in. That goes in your sacred space. That's the space around you. And then you would shield that space. Okay? You would shield it. You would just visualize a circle around all of you. And within that circle, you have your own little shield. So that is you grounding, centering, aligning, shielding, calling in your guides, and setting your sacred space. And to set your sacred space, it's pretty much the same thing. You just visualize like a sphere around that whole room, or you can even ward your room. Like I have a ward on my room. So in each corner, I have a crystal, whether it be rose quartz, or you can use onyx or tourmaline, like anything that's protective or of a higher heart chakra. And you put them in a clockwise rotation, and then you would sage the room in a clockwise rotation, and you open up a window so the sage can wash away any energy that's not needed. Okay. And then you could use something like Palo Santo, because sage is a neutralizer. So it neutralizes energy. It doesn't rid just bad energy. It rids bad, good. It rids everything. It cleanses the damn space. So everything is gone. So you want to go in afterward with something like Palo Santo to set the intention to have like love, peace, harmony, high frequency energies in there. Okay. So that's all my goodies and tidbits on that for you. I hope that kind of answered your question. I know I really rattled that off fast, but it's pretty easy. I promise. It's really easy. Shielding is really just about your intention, though. It really is just about your intention. Like the whole thing I recited, you don't have to recite that. As long as you have the intention that I am safe in this space, that I am protected, I'm divinely directed, that I picture this white light, the shield around me, and I'm enhancing it, and I'm powerful, and I'm confident that it's going to protect me. Things like that. You don't have to have a whole like Wicca seance to it, because with spirituality, it's just about your intention behind it. At least that's my belief. It's about your intention, right? Because there's no right or wrong way. No, it doesn't mean you're toxic. It doesn't mean you're toxic. If you don't like sage, you just got to understand why you don't like sage. Maybe you should try a smudge spray instead of burning sage. Sometimes I don't like burning sage either. Sometimes I rather spray. This is a Sage and Palo Santo smudge spray. I got it on Amazon. And it's lasted me a really long time. And I actually really like it. Yeah, I really like it. By Zen Life. I'm a fan. I don't know if I'm such a fan of Amazon right now because they're getting more expensive, but everything is, right? Everything is. No, nothing's expensive. Everything's affordable because we're all abundant. We're all rich and wealthy and successful, and there's enough abundance to go around for everybody, and everybody's healthy, and the world is healing. Boom, neutralized. But see, why do you think you're punished? Are you punished, or do you think you're a victim? That's something I had to learn too. Like thinking that God was, oh gosh, this was such a hard lesson. This was such a hard lesson. I remember when I was paralyzed and I was screaming mad, so mad at God. And like, I believe in God. Like I believe in, I don't know how to say this. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. Do I study the Bible or any of that? No. I believe in Jesus for like my own reasons, from my own spiritual experiences, you know, that whole like dying thing, coming back to life, and like things I experienced during that. And not because of I was raised in the church or anything of that sort. Okay. I just believe in what I believe in, right? I believe that I was also raised Jewish, you know, I believe in Allah, you know, I believe in, I believe in so many things. And I believe that we're all allowed to believe in our faith in whatever form we think it takes at the time that it takes on our journey, right? Sometimes I want to talk to Gaia, Mother Earth, and sometimes I want to talk to goddesses, right? Sometimes I want to talk to Poseidon, and sometimes I want to talk to, you know, sometimes I'm really into Buddhism. I personally don't like fitting in a box. And I think that we've been programmed to think that we have to pick a box. I don't like picking no boxes, figuratively or literally or sexually. It's not my thing. Something's wrong with me sometimes. Anyway, but I remember when I had paralysis on the right side of my body, and I was really, really mad at God because I was a college athlete, right? So I played lacrosse for 16 years, and I also played basketball and tennis and volleyball and swimming, and I was just always really athletic. And so when I couldn't really move my legs or my arms, I was very, very angry at my God, at who my God was, right? And at this time, I had this is when my spiritual awakening. This was my first spiritual awakening. This was like when it started. My family started taking me to a Baptist church, and it's not that I couldn't be in the church. I absolutely loved being in church, but I would get so emotional because I just felt like so overwhelmed. Like honestly, I just felt so close to death still. Like I felt so close to that veil. And that feeling's never gone away. And so even to this day, if I go to church, I will bawl my eyes out because it's very intimate to me. It's very intimate. And I remember just being very angry because I felt like my body was taken from me. I felt like you took my body. Like, why are you punishing me? Right? You took my body. And it took me about a year till I realized, when I was not paralyzed anymore, that they didn't take it from me. They didn't take it from me. They were rebuilding it. And I had the same realization about the relationship I was in during that. The person I was with at that time was cheating on me, you know, and it was hard for me to see that. Why is this happening to me? No, it was happening for me because I needed to realize that relationship, if I wasn't with that partner and things weren't happening that way, I wouldn't have stood up for myself how I did and said, no, I don't want to live with you. I want to live by myself. And I did it in a way that was compassionate, you know, like we hadn't been together long. I said, I know you didn't expect your girlfriend to have a brain injury and be paralyzed and have to deal with this. You know, I get it. But let me go home. Don't pretend like I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it taught me how to hold space and see both sides of things, even though I was angry, even though I was hurt. In the moment, we might feel attacked. We might feel like the victim. We might feel these things. But in time, when you shift out of your ego, when you shift out of the trauma body, out of your hurt, out of your pain, you're going to see there's a lesson, a very vital lesson there for you, right? Like I went through this with my family just recently, and it was just and the need to surrender and say, you know what, like if this ain't going to work out, it's not going to work out. And that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I venture to connect with different energies. I like being box free. It's like maybe there's a ghost that wants to be acknowledged. I'm not in tune with it so that much. Sees enough. Spirit doesn't punish. I feel like a victim because I am so weak and sick. My energy drops to zero. I bring myself to saying, okay, thank you, God, for giving me the ability to focus and read. I suggest looking into the holistic psychologist. I would get her book. How to do the work. She talks about a lot of this. She does talk about a lot of this. Because because I remember being in that place. I just remember feeling like, am I ever going to get my body back? Because I was blind and deaf too. Like, am I going to see? Am I going to hear again? Am I going to walk again? And now, like, I'm driving, I see fine, I hear fine, and like I walk and I lift weights and everything. And a lot of it had to do with no longer focusing on everything around me, external to me, and focusing back on myself. Literally focusing on myself. Like anytime like a dude popped in my head who I was romantically interested in, I would have to literally say to myself, no, the focus right now is you. Or if the fear of money, not having enough money, no, I'm always provided for. I know I'm supported and I don't have to worry about it. And I don't have to remind myself to breathe. It was training my mind again. It was reprogramming my mind. And it's a practice. And we're going through it again right now. We are going through it again because we're starting the start of a new karmic cycle. And so we're relearning those lessons, myself included. Yeah. But is it that you're being saved from being a giver, or is it that you're being challenged to have balance between giving and overgiving? Because we're in the balance, we're learning the balance of our dualities, how to push on the gas and how to not. Because that's distorted feminine energy, right? The feminine energy who gives, right? That's distorted feminine energy. And we have Venus and Mars hanging out in Aquarius right now. Everybody wants their freedom. Everybody wants to break free. Nobody wants to be constricted right now. So it's going to play out externally. It's not about like, I'm going to focus on myself, so I'm not going to give to you. Perfect example. Here's a perfect example. I'll use myself as an example. I wanted help looking at places to live. And I felt like I was the only one looking at places to live. And I know I have a tendency to be very controlling and have high expectations. And so I thought about that before talking to my partner about it. And I didn't go at them and say, why aren't you helping me more? And let my ego have that conversation or think that like, oh, I'm so screwed. We're not going to have anywhere to go, blah, 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 right? And allow myself to fall in fear. Instead, I simply said to my partner, I haven't been in a position like this in a long time. And having your help right now would mean a lot to me. Because right now I feel really uneasy, right? I switched into feminine instead of my distorted masculine and allowed them to see that I was willing to be vulnerable. Instead of attacking them or going at them, I allowed them to see that what I need right now is you to help me with the changes we're going through together. Just show me that we're a unit, that we're a team, because I can't do it by myself, right? And he said, okay. And started sending me all these listings that he liked. And I said, okay, problem solved. When we work from the ego, when we work from our trauma response of, oh, they're not doing it because they want me to do it or they expect me to do it all, instead of just simply asking for what we need. And typically it's going to backfire on you. It's going to backfire. Maybe it's not about being the giver. Maybe it's about changing the approach. Because right now we're in Aries. It's a sign of self. It's about looking at you. It's time to make a big shift. We're all looking at who we are. It's a big shift in self. It's not about the people around us. It's not about what they expect of us or what our partner expects or what our family expects or friends expect or what the collective expects of me. It's about who do I want to be? How do I want to show up? What do I want to bring to the table? And what am I going to be proud of for myself 20 years from now? And am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing in order to do that? And am I going to be proud of myself if I'm not working to be the best version of me, right? Am I going to be proud of myself if every time I talk to my friends or family, they think that I'm complaining? No, I should probably be more positive and look at the better things, right? Shift my perspective, right? How many times do we have that friend or family member, or how many times are we ourselves that person who emotionally dumps when someone's asking you, how are you? Like we have something to complain about, right? How often is that? That's the need to shift from, is it really worth the complaining? Or is it that we are addicted in a sense to stress and drama? And it's easier to focus on that than the things that are going well, because we don't expect the things to go well to stick around. And it's easier to be sad than it is to stay happy, because then once we're happy, we have this limiting belief that it's going to leave. Someone had to say it. So I said it. That's all. That's it. So that's what I got for you. All right, next topic. Topic change. Let's move to a happy topic now. No more of this, because we're going to shift our frequency back to good things. Good things, happy things, positive things. Hey, guess what? We're all abundant. Do you know there's an endless amount of abundance for everybody? Did you know that? And let's talk about manifestation. That's a really cool one. I don't think so many people talk about, hello, my dear. So many people talk about manifestation in the sense that you have to script or you have to say them out loud, and guilty as charged. I was under this impression for a really long time too, that in order to manifest properly, you have to write it all down and picture it perfectly and take action toward it. And yeah, that's fine too. But the best way to manifest is to be in true alignment with your authentic self. And to be with your authentic self is to follow your intuition towards the things that truly make you happy. So how often do we really do the things that make us actually happy? How often do we do that? How often do we actually do that? Oh, wow. Oh, oops. Hold on. I have a malfunction on one of my readings. I forgot to make it unlisted. This is important because they need to be able to see it. Huh. No, it is unlisted. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, she thought there was no sound to it. I'm pretty sure there's sound to it because I recorded it the same way we're live right now. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I need to see something. Always. Yeah, the holistic psychologist. Yeah, she's amazing. I love her so much. Yeah, there's sound. That's weird. Hold on. Let me go back to, I have to email this person really quick. Yeah, Lex. Manifestation is connecting the heart and mind to what you desire. Then based on your human design is how you take action. Yes. Agreed. The human design is amazing. That's something I really want to study more. Sent. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Manifestation is connecting the heart. Yeah. So what else do you guys want to talk about? What else? Because if not, I'm probably going to hop off here. I'm going to check out what monthlies the patrons voted on. Let's see. What the polls are in. Oh, we have a lot of ties right now. A lot of ties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ties for the zodiac signs right now. Okay. Guess nobody really cares about some of these signs, though. Nobody cares about Cancer or Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn. How could you not care about Capricorn? I'm a Capricorn rising. It's like the most important sign in the zodiac. Just kidding. I remember you saying that about your internship. That's awesome. Ooh, that'd be a lot of fun. That'd be a lot of fun. That'd be very interesting. It'd be very interesting. Sorry, I gotta scroll to the top of this. Okay. Aquarius. Yeah, it had two. Oh Lord. I had two votes for Aquarius on my Patreon channel. Yeah, I'm not doing readings on here. It was for my Patreon that we were talking about. Yeah, Lex lives up that way. I might move out that way. Who knows, Lex? You might see me down there. Might pop on by. I was just thinking about that. I was looking up the angel number as we speak for 555. Let's see. Unique secrets is a sign, an omen, and message or guidance from those in higher realms taking care of you. Change and happiness. Ooh. Have you been to the Crystal Throne? Oh my gosh, I don't know what either of you are talking about. Changes ahead are for our greater good. How you understand it can better help you. Oh, that was very generic. Okay, so let's go to Sacred Scribes because that's like the OG of all. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, there it is. Okay, are you ready for angel number 555? It tells of significant and necessary changes happening in your life that have been divinely inspired and guided. These changes will bring about long-awaited circumstances and results and will fully align you with your true divine life purpose and soul mission. Angel 555 is a message from your angels that it is time to let go of the old that is no longer positively serving you. Trust that they'll be replaced with better. Release old doubts, fears, and perceived obstacles, and if feeling any fears or confusion, ask for support and guidance from your angels. Know that your angels are always with you. Keep a positive attitude and mindset about the new entering your life, and keep an open mind as to the important opportunities presenting themselves. Remember that everything happens for a reason and nothing happens by chance. Even though the reasons for changes may not be clear at this point in time, trust that all will fall into place for you. Exactly what I was talking about. These changes have come about so you can break free from old restraints and constraints and freely pursue your soul purpose as a spiritual being. Lex, that reminded me of our conversation about my dream the other night. Angel 555 suggests that major life changes are taking place in many areas of your life. Trust that these changes are for both immediate and long-term benefit, and the angels ask you to go with the flow. You guys are still talking about Disney. Oh my God. Okay. Well, I love you guys, but I'm gonna hop off here now, and I'm gonna go eat food and relax and meditate. And I'm thinking about doing some reels on my Instagram moving forward. I think I'm gonna start doing that, jumping on that train. And I'm not gonna call it a bandwagon because I hate that term, and I'm not a bandwagoner. I refuse to be. And I'm going to start making some reels on there about like manifestations and yeah, meditations and all that stuff. But I love y'all, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.